All right, let's do this. I was actually told that I need to be more animated. Um, I don't know. Maybe I'll get to becoming more animated, and I'll probably add in effects and all the other stuff later. This is literally just kind of like not really unburdening, but just kicking um, ideas loose and things like that. So let's shake a few ideas loose. Uh, let's. I don't even know where to begin. Um, let's talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 4th of July and Independence Day, and it was the I guess guesstimated um, day that my son was supposed to be born. And instead of celebrating is probably the wrong word, instead of honoring um, when we lost my son, kind of, still mourn on the 4th of July. So I'm sorry to everybody, but my bot, my disliking bot, that I won't be streaming tomorrow. I'm still trying to figure out what I really want to do with these. I'm definitely going to break them up. I'm definitely going to put them into categories and make them a little more bite size and take out all of the jump cuts and maybe even me thinking, and maybe I'll do a video of me going something like that, to have fun with it. But that's why I won't be streaming tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Just thinking about it, but before that event, I had been faced with death several times. Never anybody close to me, not my mentors, not my teachers, not not my friends, my close friends, mostly acquaintances and of that nature. I mean, when I was very little, my great grandmother passed away, and I actually remember that. I don't know why, but I do remember it. And I have, been, dealing with a lot of it after last year and everything like that. But even before that, I had 3 cornerstones of my life that were kind of my rock and kind of my guide and kind of my life lessons and my examples, even what not to do, and my encouragers, and and even in a small way, my partners in crime. I I've always defined myself with, those three. Um, I just, I think about all the years um, I had with all three of them is part of my life, and I kind of took it for granted. Maybe I thought that it would last forever, and none of them were spring chickens, or um, or anything like that. They'd all lived full lives and all had done everything that they were going to do in this life. And I, still kind of wish they were, a phone call away, or a drive, or we can go out to eat somewhere, just talk about things. I miss it. They've definitely not been replaced. And I think I crumbled a bit with their passings, and I don't think that I've definitely, as far as like how the world sees me, I was a freaking mess, and it looked like I had everything together, and everything was going my way. Forever, I was, fortune's fool for the longest time, and I definitely squandered it. I definitely, lots of waste. And not enough time. But, I've always described, them as, my heart, my creativity, or my brain, and my spiritual. Body, mind, and soul. And all three of them, definitely, fit those categories. I know in the last one I mentioned Father Angelo real quickly. And my grandmother, Nana, Maxine Byers, and my mentor, Mike Frankovich Jr. Definitely, it's, I can't think of a day that's passed that I don't think about them, don't seek their wisdom, their advice, or feel like I've been a disappointment and that I haven't, reached my potential of what I should have been, as opposed to what I am today. My trajectory was definitely heading in a completely different direction, and I certainly left turned it. And it's like, wanting subscribers for YouTube. Do I really want it? Do I really want, to open the doors and unleash a floodgate of mostly toxic and hateful things. I mean, I barely can handle one, and it's like I said, and it's a bot, a troll bot. I barely, it frustrates me to no end, that the fact that it's there, just disliking. It's going to dislike this video, and I don't know why it still bothers me. I don't know. I've tried to talk it out. Obviously, people who watch the videos probably know that I've definitely been trying to talk my way out of that thing, but I'm definitely not where I thought I was going to be at this time. In fact, I thought I would be actually 10 years into my retirement and doing consulting work and just ending my life, like the twilight years, many, many years, however many years it's going to be, just consulting instead of, being an idea person instead of being, the hands-on, get your hands dirty. And I could still do that too, but it very toxic to me. I think that I still have some long-term physical damage from all the chemicals and things that I worked with. I use safety equipment, but for those of you who work with resins and styrene and epoxies and all of those toxic chemicals, know that even with respirators, not just masks, with actual respirators, and full suits, know full well that they keep out a lot. They definitely keep you from dying in the immediate sense, but that stuff still gets through, and you're still affected by it. And I definitely have felt it. As I get older, starting to see it more and more. I know that my teeth have definitely been severely damaged by it. I think it's probably where I get a lot of my gray hair. Surprisingly, I've been going gray, since my late 20s. So the gray hair doesn't really mark me as being older. And it's gray streaks. You can see them. You look at older pictures of me, and yes, I have a lot less gray hair, but it's still there. There's still plenty of grays, roaming around. And like I said, since my late 20s, almost half my life, I've had gray hair. So my hair is thinner. That is a difference. Thinner than it used to be, but that could just be natural though. But yeah, where I saw myself now, more hands off, more design, maybe even breaking down and actually doing the computer generated stuff that they were definitely trying to get me into. Yeah, I know people told me about how bad smoking is and everything like that. Driving a car is worse. And I know I drive a car with a combustion engine, and I'm getting that same effects plus I smoke. So I'm getting that plus smoking, but the difference is so negligible that it doesn't even my smoking doesn't change the environment as much as people who drive their cars. And yeah, the people who drive all electric cars are different. People who drive hydrogen cars, it's different. But most people don't have those things. And I always, whenever somebody really thumps down on me to quit smoking, I usually say, let's do a test. Seal off garage. I will sit there and I will light an entire carton of cigarettes, 10 cartons of cigarettes, 30 cartons of cigarettes. Doesn't matter how many, you can name however many cartons of cigarettes that you want. And I will sit there and I will smoke, and you'll run your car. And whoever dies first wins. And I would put dollars to donuts that, depending on how sealed up the garage is, you could die quickly. And I will probably walk out unharmed, unchanged. So stop picking on smoking. It's so stupid. Fix yourself before you try to fix me. I always think of it as people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Contrary to popular belief, I did quit smoking for 2 years. I was a non-smoker. I was not anti-smoking, just like I don't drink, and I'm not anti-drinking, just not for me. And that's my choice. And if somebody asks why I don't drink, I say that for some reason, no matter how bad my life is going, if I add drinking to it, my life gets worse. And that has been true up until the day I quit drinking, which is almost 20 years ago. Same thing goes with, even drugs and, things like that. The one habit that I have not even, I have, like I said, I quit for 2 years, so I did quit smoking. But the one reason that I still smoke and I don't even try to quit is because it kind of keeps my anxiety down. It helps me focus. Even the last video, I think I smoked 2 cigarettes in them. You can definitely see the difference between when I, right before I started a cigarette, and then, right after a cigarette, and how more collected I was, and even more animated I was. And then as the time went on before I had the next cigarette, you watch it slowly deteriorate down, and I started losing my train of thought. I started going in many different directions. I didn't, the thoughts started circling, And that's, I don't know. It is what it is. I definitely had a few viewers, which I actually really enjoyed, and thank you for coming in and checking out, my live stream. It was very awesome of you to do that. If anybody's watching yesterday's stream, they'll see that the chat's not up, and the reason the chat's not up is because there was no chat. And YouTube, when there's nothing in the chat, YouTube automatically. I mean, I could force it so you guys can see a blank screen over here with nobody talking, and why? It's not worth it. Just watch the video. You can watch this video too. Same thing. But yeah. The one thing I don't like about death, not my own, other people, is that no matter how nice and generous and kind you think some people are, especially family members, when somebody dies, it always feels, no matter who it was. When I talk about my big three, even out of the big three, all three had this, and I tried to ignore it as best I can, but and I think some people think that I didn't notice, but I noticed. I noticed how horrible people became to each other, how even towards me. And I realized that, it wasn't me that they were looking at. It was my connection to the more famous. And that was like very disheartening. And it's one of the reasons why I'm in the position I am today. And one of the reasons I hadn't, gone out and renewed my connections with people who are the rich and powerful and famous and whatever. So I have those associations. And it's definitely a different world than, the one I was a part of. The celebrities now are definitely different. The powerful are definitely different. Pretty much the same, but different, And the only reason that they're different is because I'm not attached. And the people that I would have attached myself to today, if I was to try to like reinvigorate it, most of them are either out or dead. So it's, like I said, that's the only difference. But there are people just like them that have taken their places, and most of them are awful and horrible people. And it's just a cycle that nobody seems to want to break. And here I am, I called them awful people, and what, they could be really nice people, but the thing is that they're their job. And even when I was a part of it, my job was to end up doing awful things to people, and I didn't like that. I like your word is your bond, and I don't like the where you can loophole it. Just hold to your word. There's no excuse. Your word could change, but that now takes the work. That's now where you have to do the work. You have to see who's affected by it and who you gave your word to. And you have to say, I changed my mind. There is nothing worse than finding out, trying to even use a really good example, and there were so many when I was in California. There's nothing worse than somebody giving you their word, changing their mind, while you think that the project is still going forward, and you are out. And that happened several times. And I shouldn't even talk about those things because I definitely do not have permission. And I know the people who did these things, I know they have their take on it. They have their whatever they justified to help them sleep at night thing. And I hope it helps them sleep at night. I think that they believe their own lies to such an extent. I mean, I had a bunch of people talking about how, the people who support Trump, basically want to support their own demise. I mean, we had a president that actively tried to kill and killed 500,000 American citizens. Caused this thing, and I know people were like going, "Oh, he did the best he could," and it's like, no, he ignored it. And as a leader of this country, ignoring a problem is not, doing things that you think are just going to increase your popularity is not the way. You have to resolve the problems. I mean, when we had 15 cases, the 15 cases, this would be the problem because he had trouble conveying what the real problem was. But 15 known cases when he announced that this pandemic was happening here in the United States, they could have been isolated. They could have been taken, in there. They could have done contact tracing to follow through, and the people who, and it would have been expensive, and it would have been very time consuming, and the end result might not have gone in Donald Trump's favor. And that's the reason why he didn't do it, just because it might not have. And in my opinion, it would have definitely gone into it, and anything that went wrong, he could just blame on the Democrats. To do that anyway, the Democrats forced our hand. The Democrats did this. They're so evil. You could have used that thing, but protected the United States, protected American citizens as a whole. Right now, your constituents are the most vulnerable right now, and it's the people you're counting on, for votes to get you reelected in 2024. I mean, that you're thinking the wrong way. I mean, they're in rough shape. And the sad thing about it is, they don't understand how bad it actually is because your lies are so believable, I guess. I don't know why. I don't know why they can't. I don't know why they worship why somebody would worship somebody who literally is planning their own demise, who does not care about them, who will literally, if push came to shove, they would pass the blame on to you, no matter what it is. Why would you support somebody like that? How could he have any support? And yet he does. And I just I'm baffled by that. Baffled by the fact that people's independent thinking is just so derailed. And and then they go, look at Biden. Well, Biden's not perfect, and Biden, I didn't vote for him. I voted for him to be actual president against the disaster, but I voted for him because I wanted to prevent this from happening. And he has changed things. So he's not doing the job that I was expecting the president, during this crisis would do, but he's definitely doing a much better job than the previous president. And that's not saying much. It doesn't take much. Doesn't take much. That's how bad it was. And I can't believe people can't see that. It doesn't take much. You don't have to like Joe Biden. But definitely have respect for him. Definitely want him to do better, but he's got to overcome the hill that freaking the disaster was left for him. And then he can get to, I guess, the stuff that, I could be very critical of. But it's like, and people thinking that this is over. It's not even near over. Not even close. I know I'm talking about death, and I don't know if you realize it, but 500,000 deaths is, we're going to probably cross 600,000, but definitely a slowed down since it's like, oh, we're for law enforcement, but don't investigate, don't prosecute what happened on January 6th. What? That's what you want, right? That's where it is. Where's personal responsibility? Why can't people just say the truth? I think that's really what's happening. And I know why a lot of Republicans don't say the truth, because of what happened with Liz Cheney, who I don't like. I hate her. I don't like Liz Cheney. I think she's awful. But I can have respect for her, at least, because she stood up for what she believed in. She stood up against this freaking disaster that we just had for the past 4 years before Joe Biden became president. I mean, I don't even think that it should have even taken that much, to get my respect. I think it should have taken a lot more to get my respect. I think that this should have just been a given. And I still see people with Trump flags flying out the back of their trucks or off the back of their motorcycle and stuff like that. And I'm just like, really? 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 Do you really believe that turning our nation into, we're the ones who basically created the first world, second world, and third world nations. We created that whole standard. We were the forefront. We were the better than first world nation. It was the allies. You had to be allied to the United States to be a first world nation. America created that, and we turned ourselves over the past 4 years. We were a third world nation in a system that was created by America, where the first world nation is you had to be an ally to America, to the United States of America. That's the only criteria of a first world nation. A second world nation is people who are against America, like Russia, China. Those are second world nations. And we basically, shunned our own allies and hated ourselves. We turned ourselves into a third world nation or a developing country. We went from world power to a developing country. And we're not recovering from that. I know when Russia fell, the USSR, I should say, Russia still exists. The Union of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, the USSR. When that fell, and Russia as a country was no longer literally digging at our, nipping at our heels. We did not do anything anymore. It's like we basically lost our competition, so why compete? Why challenge? And I think America was falling back then. And I see a lot of people talking about how our democracy was tested and we barely survived it. And it's like going, no, we failed. We showed that not only is there a chance that the United States would fall. That's what January 6th is. I think a lot of people misinterpret what that means. If they succeeded on January 6th, the United States as we know it would have fallen. It would no longer be the United States. We would have started an authoritarian regime, and the country that's divided would have erupted in a civil war. That's what the success of January 6th would have been. And it wouldn't be a political party thing. It wouldn't be dim libs. Stupid fucking people. You have no idea how much your life would, how awful your life would be without dim libs or immigrants. Being an isolationist, and you can have whatever beliefs you want, but being an isolationist is the most detrimental thing to this country, to the United States than any other thing that I can think of. And the hatred, I quote Maya Angelou like a million times, during 45's term, I must have quoted Maya Angelou at least a million times. I mean, not that much, but probably like 200 times. And, just the one quote, hate has caused many problems in the world, but hasn't solved one yet. And hate has never solved. People stand by hate. No matter what, people stand by hate, and they still believe that it's going to fix their problems instead of cause more. They still believe that damage, murder, taking down your enemies in whatever capacity you want doesn't make them go away. Just makes the survivors dig in and become survivors. They won't be victims anymore. They'll be survivors, and they'll be your enemy. That's what happens. You look at it play out in the Middle East all the time. And it's like we don't even learn our own fucking lesson that we did in the Middle East. And now it's happening inside the country. Inside. January 6th was a disgrace. It's a disgrace to this nation. It's a disgrace that everything that could have been, and it happened from the top. The president ordered it to hold on to a non-existent power that he never had, and he never used. Thank God. But a non-existent, an imaginary, this imaginary power. Quoting Star Wars, the more you tighten your grip, the more things will slip, the more systems will slip through your fingers. The more you tighten your grip, the more power you lose. And I believe that the Republican Party has tightened their grip. $74 million people voted for Trump. 74. That's the most votes any sitting president has ever gotten. That is the group, the people that we need to win over to basically save this country. And we can't dismiss them. We can't tell them, to go away. And I don't even know if the truth would help. But the people that they listen to need to basically start saying the truth. Need to start bringing things back to reality at the expense of maybe losing them as followers. But do you really want blind, ignorant followers? Or do you want intelligent people who can rationalize, who can think, maybe even have critical thinking? Listening to the message that you have to convey. And I know that, like where a lot of people on, Fox News and stuff like that, they don't care about that. They want to keep the people ignorant. They want to still feed false information. And they have never, even the few times that they just bring in rationality, they quickly, backslide into their insanity. I know that QAnon was built as a joke and a social experiment, and it is now out of control. And it should be a terrorist organization. And members should be arrested, in my opinion. Especially members that have positions of power. And I know it sounds horrible to say because I want to say, listen, you can believe whatever you want to believe, but when your message is hate and your message affects other people, other than your followers and your, demented, feelings of what right and wrong is, I think that you should understand that it's just not right. It's all wrong. And I fucking hate being political, and I'm definitely not going to clip any of this shit. Probably not going to clip anything deal with that shit. But try to get back on track, and yeah, tomorrow's just going to be a hard day, and there'll be fireworks booming all the time, and I'm just kind of not looking forward to it anymore. I always wanted to be, it was like, why did people vote for Ronald Reagan? And when Walter Mondale asked people, and the response from a worker they got is because he made me feel proud to be an American. And I don't know how the cult of Trump, I don't know how a single member would feel proud to be an American in this disgrace. They are a disgrace to their own nation. Just by following him, you're a disgrace. You don't have to have gone to the rally at Washington, D.C. You didn't have to attack the Capitol to be a disgrace. Just following that mess. And like I said, I'm all for free thought. Flat earther bullshit, all that other bullshit, I wish you would just look at the science, trust in the science instead of trusting in just fabrication. But I don't know how you got to the point that you were. It's just like anti-vaxxing. Just like people who are anti-vaxxers. How the fuck did you get to this conclusion? It was like watched a news report, and this guy, his mother got COVID, and he had COVID, and he was sick, and his mother was in the hospital on a ventilator, and he couldn't see her, so he was out the hospital, and he was holding a picture of her, and it was very heartbreaking and everything like that. And the news reporter said, "Do you think you're going to get vaccinated?" And I don't think he understood what he was saying. He said he wanted to make sure the vaccine was safe. Not that the vaccine would cure him or prevent him from getting sick again or any of the other things to say about it. He wanted to make sure first that the vaccine was safe. His mother is dying in the hospital, and she's probably dead by now, because he was saying that she's not doing good. And with his mother dying, and here he is, standing outside the hospital, saying how bad this is, and that at least he was admitting that the virus was real. When you're dying, how much safety do you need to prevent death? I think the risk is worth it. I know now a lot of people who had COVID, who can't smell anymore, have asthma, and those are the mild ones. I know a few people that are on like dialysis and have to have oxygen. And they're very anti-smoking. It's always what is Sean doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I don't have breathing problems, right? I don't have breathing problems right now. Obviously, if I was on oxygen and stuff like that, I'd have breathing problems. But you know what? I wouldn't give a shit what other people were doing. Worry about myself. It's like cheating at cards and wondering why you can't win a hand. How about don't cheat? Or cheating at cards and wondering why somebody else is winning. Or beats you or has a better hand. Don't worry about that person. Worry about yourself. Don't cheat. If you played it right, you might have won. Because they're probably cheating too. I don't like the cheat the cheater mentality. Just don't play. One of the big reasons when I talk about my miniature game, there's an acronym called WAAC or WAC. We call them WAC players. A WAC player is a win at all cost. And I think they were serious about it, but I thought they were joking when somebody said this to me. They said WAC players aren't cheaters, and I said no. All WAC players are cheaters, no matter what. This isn't people who are gaming the system and just looking for loopholes and stuff like that. That's not a WAC player. Because people who find loopholes and stuff like that still have bad dice days. No, these are players that have loaded dice, cheating. These are people who put pieces on the board when the opponent's not watching. This is when there's a large removal of pieces from the board. They don't take enough off, and they're not counted because it literally is a there's a trust that players don't cheat, and that trust has definitely been broken. And I do not want to play with a player like that. I do not want to play with a player who goes out of their way to win no matter what. And I have definitely watched WAC players. And the sore loser syndrome happens also with WAC players because they do lose. You can still lose. You're getting watched too closely. All dice rolls are getting watched, so you can't cheat your dice. I have with people rolling sixes all the time. I have asked to use those dice for my rolling, and I definitely know how weighted dice work. there has been, I like the system that one person did, which is they have like a roulette wheel type of thing, and they have their the dice. They roll the dice in the middle of it, and they grab the dice from the edge, and they roll that dice, and then they put it at the end. So they're always cycling through their dice. I like those. Those systems are awesome because it really does change how because some dice aren't it's not your fault that the manufacturer messed up the dice. It's your fault if you start picking out the dice that tend to roll sixes or ones or whatever you wanted more often. Things like that, just cheaters. I fucking hate cheaters, and I think they're bullies as well. So they go into the category. A cheater is a person who goes into the category of bullying. Because we don't want you to cheat. Never want somebody to cheat. Always. I support players winning. I support my opponent winning. In fact, I hate just demolishing players. And that's happened a few times, but I don't like to win like that. I like that. I like it when the game, it's a challenge, and bad things happen, sometimes, and bad things happen on their side too, and you got to accept both of those things happening. Bad positionings. I've done bad positionings. That's happened to me, and I've done bad positionings, and it's worked out for me. And I've had my opponent shoot everything that they had at one bad position a piece, and they couldn't get it. It's happened. Not as often as you might think, but it's happened. The only inconsistencies with the election happened within the GOP, happened because of the GOP. They're claiming fraud and not looking at it as themselves. They're always blaming this evil Democrat foundation that's trying to tear away democracy and steal your freedom. And it's the exact opposite is happening. It's the exact opposite. If I see another friggin' Trump with a flag with the the thin blue line, black and gray flag with that thin blue line in the middle of it, and I see a Trump flag next to it, I'm just like going, what an oxymoron. It just doesn't make sense. Why would you? That's the GOP has gone out of its way systematically voting against funding the police, not giving states the necessary funds, especially during COVID, a caused pandemic by the GOP. They caused the problem. The $7 trillion in debt that happened under Donald Trump's watch. That's GOP allowing spending to run right out of control. Tax breaks for the rich. I don't know how you can take, when they're not paying anything anyway. How do you take even, oh, that's right. They're giving them money now. They give billionaires, trillionaires. They're giving them money. Give them. My tax money is now giving the ultra rich money as opposed to making them pay their fair share. Think about that. It's awful. again, I don't know why I keep slipping into political thing. Maybe it's because it's close to the 4th of July and all I see is American flags, and American flags do not make me proud to be an American. And I think that a lot of them are actually not Trumpers. They're just people showing that they're patriotic. And I remember when, 4th of July used to come around, there were flags everywhere, flags flying everywhere. And I didn't think twice about how a person thought. And I used to think that, well, it's because of that I used to think that the systemic racism that's always existed in this country since its foundation had been fixed. I wish it was. Yay. Boomers. I am I would say I'm in a rut, but I'm definitely going to take tomorrow off and definitely not talk about political things. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I might, watch a stream or something like that, see what other people are doing for the 4th of July. But definitely not a participation day for me. There are a lot of people in my life that I want to share with my channel. So you guys, and I try not to make it seem like I'm here all alone and I have no friends. I don't have very many friends, but I'm all alone and I have no friends, and I'm just this pathetic person that's working a 9-to-5 job that I hate. That's true. But I don't want you to think that I don't feel lonely. I think that I give enough subtle hints about what's going on in my life that you can see. It's just that there are people very dear and very close to me. Some not physically close to me, but people that I care about dearly. I thought it was nice when for Mother's Day I got my mom. I got her permission to do the Mother's Day stream, but yeah, one of these days, there might be participation by it's only a handful of people, but I think that they're subscribers, so they're part of the family. So they're part of your family if you're subscribed. And my subscribers, I'd love to talk about our connection, even if it is just a virtual one, or I've said things or you've said things, and we've kind of hit it off. And because you guys, I know that, I started this channel, just kind of as a, how bad could it, how, this is how bad it is. But it was all about me. And, me. And I think I've been hoping that, after 5 months, now almost 6 months, kind of hoping that, or we're going into the 6th month, just about. I'm stalling. I was kind of hoping from, that yes, it would start off with, because that's all I had was me. But I was definitely kind of hoping that, I would have graduated out of that. Not, I shouldn't call it graduate. That I would have outgrown it, is really what I'm saying, and I really haven't. I'm still here, still doing thing, and I think that's why I'm not as animated, as maybe I could have been, and maybe, I don't know. It's not. I think that this is, the quietness of the stream is kind of jarring, and it's probably why I'm all over the place. It's probably why it's like I can't keep a thought in my head. I'm probably going to be doing jump cuts when I edit the videos down. But it might be definitely the cause of my being monotoned and not really being animated, I guess. And I don't know. I'm going to definitely work on that. I don't know how much more effort I need to be giving before I should start to expect some give back. Yes, minimal effort, running on, basically autopilot, and doing videos for the sake of doing videos. Definitely could happen. I could definitely do that. I don't want to, but, and it's definitely not like I'm running low on ideas, because I'm not. It's just like, there's probably 100 million songs that I could sing. I could continue singing. I could just sing songs, until the end. I could easily have done that. I definitely had the machine. Definitely had the mechanism put in place, and I could easily, if I sang 4 songs a day, within a month, that's 30 days. So that's 120 songs, and I would have only had 30 of them, 30 of them done, 30 of them released. That's 1 month. In 1 month's time, I could have had 120 songs. That's crazy. Which is, yes, only 4 months, but I can continue that. And it wouldn't have been too difficult. It's not difficult at all. I have over 200. I have over 200 songs to make parodies from. I have written. I have. I have. I have so many parodies already written that I could easily continue it. And in a way, I'm happy that I ended it at 100, especially looking at the analytics and how that has what the actual effect is of the analytics to my channel. And I definitely, I don't blame the fact that I was doing loud noises on the fact that the troll came in, the troll bot came in. It's not loud noises' fault, but I was definitely getting more exposure because of loud noises. People were looking at the artist, and I was using many, talk about spanning the spectrum of artists. I was definitely using the, all different sorts of artists from all walks of life and all different things. The chances of somebody, with the, billions of views a day that YouTube has, the chances of somebody accidentally clicking on my video is pretty good because my videos were definitely getting more seen in people's end screens than before. But the cost was I got a troll, and I can't shake it. And I'd rather not even have any subscribers than and not have the troll than to have 1,000 subscribers. I'd rather have people watching my videos than just clicking through, that is the majority of my videos, not just the troll. The majority of my videos, people as soon as they see my face almost. And I have videos where I don't even show my face for a little while. So, but I think that as soon as people see my face, they already checked out. And most of my, it's close to 90%. So let's make it 10%. People returning viewers and stuff like that, and 90%. It's a little less, but for safety's sake, let's just do it that way. 90% of people, first-time viewers. Those first-time viewers do not stick around. They do not. I do not think that a first-time viewer has seen a single one of my videos all the way through. Not a single video that I have. I don't think that they saw all the way through. I've had people see a video, compliment me on the video, and when I look at the analytics and I see how much they viewed, because that's what it's not like it's being viewed by 8 people. And even if it was, I could figure out from 8 people where it sits based on the hour, the time that they supposedly viewed it. But yeah, I'm not getting that many views. I'm, as soon as I probably get, about 10 the first day, and then it literally just trickles down from there. And, some videos are a little bit more popular. They got a little more exposure, and those videos are what opened the door for the troll. But they, even those videos, they get over 20, that'll get over 20 views. Even them, it eventually just peters out to nothing, and nobody's watching. I did the Project Melody parody of Teenage Dirtbag, and I actually like that song. I think it came out great. It's one of the few loud noises that I think came out great, but one of the things that I said is nobody's watching my videos. Videos that no one sees. Even the 100 Noises Loud, the Queen Bohemian Rhapsody thing, instead of doing the Will You Let Me Go, I said, will you watch the video? And, and no. That's really what's going on. People aren't watching. I'd rather have fewer people watching videos than have 100 people subscribing and not watching videos. And that's pretty much where it's at. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday. Stay safe. I hope it's incredibly awesome for you. I will probably be back maybe Monday. I'll try to do a stream on Monday, the 5th, Cinco de July. I think it's Julie. Julie? Is it Julie? Might be Julie. I'll have to ask somebody. Maybe I'll just Google it. So yeah, we'll go with the 5th. I will definitely try to do a live stream on the 5th. And like I said, I hope you all stay safe. Hope you're happy. Hope you're enjoying yourself and whatever you're doing. And cool beans. All right, take care.